Hello beautiful farmers. On today's video I want to be giving you an estimate of what you will need to start 200 layers chicken farming. So we will start from their feeding and we'll zero down to other things you will need, like their housing, their feeders, their drinkers, even their medication. So all you need to do is give yourself time, watch this video to the end, ask me question in the comment section if you don't understand anything that I will explain in this video. First of all, let's start from their feeding. If you want to start 200 layers chicken farming, first of all you will need their feeding, which you start from their starter feed. For their starter feed, that is the feed they will consume from their day 1 till their 8 weeks of age. And for their starter feed, you will be needing 12 bags of starter feed. You will need 12 bags of starter feed, which they will consume from their day 1 till they are 8 weeks of age. So that is the first stage of their feed. The second stage of their feed is their grower mash, which they will consume 38 bags of grower mash. That's 200 layers will consume 38 bags of grower mash from their 9th week till their around their 18 weeks to 19th weeks of age. And then around that time they have started dropping eggs. From there again, you will switch their feeding to layers mash, which they will start consuming layers mash till all of them start laying eggs. And then for their layers mash, you will be needing around 14 bags of layers mash, because this chicken, when they start laying eggs, all of them don't lay at once. Like their 18 weeks, if they should start laying at 18 weeks, they will be dropping eggs one after the other till all of them start laying egg. And as of that time, you are to be feeding them from your pocket till all of them start laying eggs. So at this point, 200 layers will be consuming 14 bags of layers mash. So in total, all of them will consume 64 bags of feed in total for 200 layers mash. That's from their day 1 till they start laying egg fully, maybe around their 22 weeks of age or around their 6 months of age. All of them might start laying egg fully. Then you will be buying their feed from the money you realize from their eggs. And know this, make sure this chicken don't fall sick, because if this chicken should fall sick, definitely they will lag behind, they will lose their weight, and by that time they will consume more feed. They will consume more than 64 bags of feed before they start laying eggs. So make every possibility to make sure that this chicken don't fall sick. Make sure they don't fall sick. Try all your possible best to make sure that your chicken don't fall sick along the way, so that they will consume lesser feed. Because if even if they fall sick, you will spend more on their feeding so that they will be able to regain their weight. You will spend more on their drug. You will spend more on their medication in order to cure the sickness. So make sure they don't contact any disease like coccidiosis or fungi disease or maybe bacteria infection. All those diseases, make sure you prevent them. And also make sure you don't go for a cheap feed. When I say cheap feed, I mean all those feed that have lesser price in the market. If you are to go for cheap chicken feed, this chicken might consume more than 64 bags of feed before they start giving you eggs. And if you should go for high quality feed, this chicken might consume less than 64 bags of feed before all of them start laying eggs. So I'll prefer you to go for quality feed, so that at least in this estimate of 64 bags, they might even consume 60 bags before all of them start laying eggs, so far they didn't fall sick or that kind of stuff. So make sure you go for high quality feed, starting from their starter to their growers to their layers. Make sure you are using high quality chicken feed. Now, the second thing you will need again is their housing. Well, before you start this journey, you must have built their housing, because when you bring in this chicken, they have to stay inside their housing. So you need their housing, and for 200 layers you will need at least 12 feet width. That is the width of the house. Then the length of the house should be 20 feet for 200 layers. At least it will make them comfortable. It will make them comfortable. 12 feet by 20 feet will make 200 layers chicken comfortable. And when you are building the chicken house, the height of the house matters a lot. Like from the ground to their roofing level, make sure that it is around 12 feet from the ground. That is the length of their roof from the ground. Make sure it is around 12 feet from the ground. Another thing you will need again is their feeder. They have different types of feeders, which you can go for any of them. They have wooden feeder and a can feeder. So this is a can feeder. As you can see, I have these feeders right here with me. This is called can feeder. So if you have to go for this type of feeders, you need them around 20 of this type of feeder for 200 layers. This is to make sure that they feed comfortably whenever you give them feed, to make sure that all of them feed very well. So when you are going for this, if you are to go for this type of feeder that I've shown you, you will need them 20 of them for 200 layers. And also during their brooding, you also need their baby feeder. So if you have to buy baby feeder, at least 10 is okay for their baby feeder. And again, I have this stuff. You can use this stuff as a baby feeder. This is the cover of a drinker. The inner part of it is very flat, so you can use it as their baby feeder if you can't afford to buy baby feeders. And again, we have this feeder that you are seeing right here. This is a wooden feeder. This one, I constructed this feeder by myself. So you can equally use this type of feeder. This is a wooden feeder. You can equally use this type of feeder, and the width is 4 inches, and the length is around 3 feet something, or 4 feet. So if you have to go for this type of feeder, for wooden feeder, you will need it around 15 pieces for 200 layers, which will make them feed comfortably. And this type of feeder usually contain more feed than this can feeder. This type of feeder usually contain more feed compared to this can feeder. So I'm using this one instead of can feeder. I'm using this type for now, though I'm using all of them depending on how I want to give them the feed. I'm using all of them, but for now I'm using this wooden feeder for them. Then another thing again you will need is their drinkers. They have different types of drinkers depending on the one you choose to use in your farm. So as you can see beside me, I have this rubber drinker, and I also have this can drinker. This is a can drinker. This this drinker usually have handles. It usually have handles, but this one don't have handle anymore. But I'm still using it because they are still drinking from it. And if you are to go for if you are to go for this type of rubber drinker, the benefit of this rubber drinker is that it can also serve as a baby drinker. It can also serve as a baby drinker when this chicken are still small. You can use it as their baby drinker, because this type of drinker, when these chicken are still small, they cannot drink from this type of drinker. So that is the benefit of this rubber drinker. But I prefer you to use this type of drinker when the chicken have grown, because definitely this chicken cannot fly on top of this type of can drinker. But this type of drinker, they can fly on top of this drinker, and then they will be pooping in the drinker. They will be pooping in the drinker, and when they drink the water, they will contact diseases. They will contact infection or that kind of disease. So I'll prefer you to use this type maybe during their brooding. Then you can use this type during the you can use this type when they have matured enough. So if you are to go for this type of can drink, if you are to go for this type of drinker, this aluminum drinker, you will need it around 10 pieces. Although you can use anything as their drinker. I've seen many people use this different type of stuff as their chicken drinker, and it do serve them very well. Maybe you can use gallon, or as in there is a way that they usually construct it, and then the chicken will be drinking from it. I have seen a lot of people using it. You can use a bowel. You can use any type of stuff to provide water for this chicken. The deal there is make sure that they don't run out of water. So that's it for the drinkers. Then the next thing we have again is their medication. That is another important stuff you should consider, because after you are done buying the chicken, you medicate them. Their you medicate them like their vaccination. You give them lasota, you give them gomboro, you give them different types of medication to prevent viral diseases or gomboro disease or Newcastle disease. Aside of it, you also need their multivitamin, and there are many other drugs during their brooding. So make sure you save a lot of money for this chicken. Currently, I don't know the prices they are selling all this stuff that I have mentioned now. I don't really know the exact amount it will cost you, but all you need to do is, as I've shown you all this stuff, all this you will need, all you need to do is go out there and make enquiries on how much they are selling it, and maybe you'll be writing them down. After everything, you will now calculate the total amount they will cost you. Maybe you will go and make enquiry on how much they are selling this chicken, make enquiry on how much they are selling the feeders, make enquiry on how much they are selling the drinkers, make enquiries on how much they are selling the drugs, that is maybe their vaccine and other drugs. Then even if you want to build the housing, you make an inquiry of how much they are selling the materials that you will be using in the housing. At the end, you calculate all of them and know how much it will cost you to start 200 layers. But all this that I've showed you is what you will need to start 200 layers chicken. My name is Collins Booker, and this is Booker's Farm. You can subscribe here in this channel so that you will be able to see more of my videos. I wish you all the best on your poultry journey. Remember, subscription is free. You can subscribe here to follow up my upload where I share my little experience about poultry farming. At least I believe it can help 1 to 10 persons out there to start their poultry farming. Thank you all, and I love you all. Wish to see you here next time in my video.